So, buenos dias, Alex and Nisha.
Hola, buenos días.
Buenos dias, ¿cómo estás?
Bueno, pues estamos muy bien. ¿Qué tal tú? ¿Cómo estás?
Thank you. That's as far as I go.
That's not very good after you've participated in all the lessons we've laid out here.
Yeah, apart from obviously asking for the bill and for various food items and things like that, you got to put me in the right context for me to use the Spanish that I do know.
You've just used the word asking, and this is exactly the focus of our lesson today. We are going to be asking questions, lots of different questions. We are going to be exploring Spanish questions, questioning words, and how to later on incorporate them in the role play. So,
Amazing. So I won't take any more of your time up because I'll only hinder the progress you look to make with students. But when you're ready, thank you, and we look forward to it.
Okay, awesome. Thank you very much. Bueno, pues gracias y bienvenidos a la clase número 10 de el español. Y como he dicho, vamos a ver las preguntas. We're going to explore the questions today. So I am hoping to now be able to share my screen, which I prepared for you. Bueno, pues bienvenidos a la clase de español número 10. La fecha de hoy es martes 12 de mayo de 2020. We say 2020, but they say 2020. En nuestra última clase repasamos, in our last lesson, we revised, las palabras de la tecnología y vimos cómo describir la foto. So we revised the words of technology and we looked at how to describe a photo. So we were looking at using the palm as your guideline. So people, action, location, mood, weather, opinion, and reason. And we were looking at some key openers to describe a photo. So without the key openers, you cannot successfully build the description. So we were looking into the words such as en la foto hay, la foto muestra, se puede ver, veo que. So those were the key openers that I often use myself. ¿Qué vamos a hacer hoy? The question for today. What are we going to do today? Hoy vamos a hablar sobre las preguntas y roleplay, el juego de rol. So we are going to talk about the questions and the roleplay, the traditional type of the speaking exam activity. As you know, the Spanish speaking of GCSE is divided into 3 parts. One is the photo description, one is the general conversation, and another one, the one that actually opens the whole exam, is the role play. I will get back to it very shortly. So today we're going to focus on some question words. As a part of your exam, you have to know how to build a question. So let's first focus on the simple ones. And now everybody, nice and loud, slowly, at your home, repeat with me. ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde? Where? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo is how. ¿Por qué? ¿Por qué is why. A lot of students always have doubts why por qué means why and por qué also means because. Yes, it does. It's true. With the difference that because is spelled together and doesn't have an accent of the final E. ¿Qué? ¿Qué? What? My favorite word ever. ¿Qué? What? What do you want? ¿Qué? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué? ¿Cuánto? ¿Cuánta? ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántas? How many? Now, we're going to focus on this one separately. Why there are 4 different ones, I will explain. But this one, cuánto, cuánta, cuántos, cuántas, how many. This is the word that all of the British people know when they go abroad. Cuánto cuesta, how much does it cost? This is the questioning word that you will use most often. Cuánto, cuánta, cuántos, cuántas. Now, the little word cuál, cuál, which one? When you are given the choice, this is the one to use. Cuál. ¿Cuál quieres? Which one do you want? ¿Cuál? ¿Quién? Who? ¿Quién es? Who is it? ¿Quién? ¿Quién? Now, finally, ¿cuándo? ¿Cuándo? When? This is one of the first question words you use when you start learning Spanish. ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? When is your birthday? It's one of the first questions you ever get to ask. Now, complex ones. These are the question words that they are composed of 2 or more words together. So I put them all together in this pink box. Okay, bueno, pues ¿a qué hora? ¿A qué hora? At what time? ¿A qué hora? At what time? You will notice that the word que is built within that question. ¿Cuánto tiempo? ¿Cuánto tiempo? You will see that how many, the word cuánto is built within this question. So, ¿cuánto tiempo? How long? ¿Cuánto tiempo vas a estar ahí? How long are you going to be there for? ¿Con quién? ¿Con quién? Who with? You see the word quién, who. So, ¿con quién? Who with? ¿A dónde? Although it's only one word, ¿a dónde? It is where to. A, on its own in Spanish, means to. ¿A dónde? Spelled together. ¿A dónde? ¿A dónde? Where to? ¿A dónde vas? Where are you going to? Now, ¿qué es? I put it as a separate question. ¿Qué es? What is? ¿Qué es esto? What is this? ¿Qué es? The question that you will often hear. ¿Qué es esto? ¿Qué es in the meaning, what does it mean? ¿Qué es el libro? What's a book? ¿Qué es la tienda? What is the shop? So you will hear this in questioning about the meaning of the things. Now, ¿cuántas veces? ¿Cuántas veces? How many times? Again, you see the word ¿cuántas? Now, veces, times. And although the word for time is tiempo, veces in Spanish is that time when you are doing something. How many goes, literally, you would say? How many times of you doing something? Not the time as your time on the clock. Desde hace cuándo? That's the last one on the list. Desde hace cuándo? And the one that I consider the trickiest one, because in here you need to remember that hace means ago. How long since? How long for? Desde hace cuánto tiempo? How long for? But how long since you started? How long since or how long for? Desde hace cuándo? So those are the main question words in Spanish. And you will further on, you will revise them using the quiz that I'm sending you, and you will become very confident users of these questions. Now, let's focus on the word donde. Donde, where? And I have put a little picture of donde está Spot. Everybody knows this little story of Spot. So where is Spot? Donde está Spot in Spanish? There you go. So donde normally links with words such as está, is, or están, are. So here you go, a couple of examples. ¿Dónde está tu instituto? Repeat with me. ¿Dónde está tu instituto? ¿Dónde está tu instituto? ¿Dónde están tus pantalones? ¿Dónde están tus pantalones? ¿Dónde está la piscina? ¿Dónde está la piscina? ¿Dónde está tu casa? ¿Dónde está tu casa? The word donde repeats everywhere. And for as long as you remember donde means where, donde estás, what, you will be fine. Now focus on como, what like. And the one question that you always remember is como te llamas, what is your name? Como te llamas. Now normally links with estás, you are, so como estás, how are you? Como está, how is it? Como están, how are they? Now como es, what is it? If you are aiming to describe something, or como son, how are they? If you are aiming to describe something. Now, como estás? How are you? Como es tu madre? What is your mother like? Como es tu casa? What is your house like? Como son tus profesores? What are your teachers like? Now, focus on cuando. Cuando. When. They normally link with the verbs. The most commonly you will use those three. Es, empieza, starts, y termina, ends. Because commonly the questions that your teacher will ask you will be, when does it start? When does it finish? When is it? Let's explore some examples. ¿Cuándo es? Like, ¿cuándo es tu cumpleaños? When is your birthday? As I mentioned before. ¿Cuándo empieza el inglés? ¿Cuándo empieza el inglés? So when does your English lesson start? ¿Cuándo termina la clase? ¿Cuándo termina la clase? When does it finish? Notice that obviously the verbs come in the third person singular. ¿Para cuándo son las entradas? ¿Para cuándo son las entradas? When are the tickets for? You will see this question later on in my role play examples I've prepared. Now focus on que. Que links with anything. But commonly, I would use ¿qué quieres? What do you want? ¿Qué quieres? ¿Qué haces? What do you do? ¿Qué hay? What is there? What are there? ¿Qué se puede? So what can you do? ¿Qué se puede? Well, let's explore a couple of examples. So, ¿qué quieres? ¿Qué haces? Common question. ¿Qué hay en la foto? ¿Qué hay en la foto? ¿Qué se puede hacer en tu pueblo? ¿Qué se puede hacer en tu pueblo? I often use this question in the exam. I like to prompt the students to describe the town that they live in and tell me what can you do. So they would start, oh, en mi pueblo se puede, and they can name me a few activities. Now focus on cuánto, cuánta, cuántos y cuántas. The problem is to identify when to use each form. And it is all to do with the number and the gender of the things you are asking for. So if I'm asking for money, ¿cuánto cuesta? I'm asking how much is it? Thinking how much money. Money is my singular masculine. That's why it's cuánto. Okay, cuánta. How many people are there? ¿Cuánta gente hay? And for you who have learned Spanish for a little bit longer, you know gente, it's singular, feminine. That's why it's cuánta. Now, ¿cuántos años tienes? Literally, in Spanish, you ask, how many years do you have? Not how old are you? So, ¿cuántos años tienes? That's why cuántos, because años is plural and masculine. ¿Cuántas personas hay? You would say, ¿cuántas personas hay en la fiesta? How many people are there at the party? So, personas, again, feminine, and plural, hence cuántas. So yes, in English it's only how many, only one form, but think what are you asking for? Is it one thing or more things? Is it masculine or is it going to be feminine? Now let's move on. And finally, we're coming to the end of our lesson, and I wanted to focus on the foundation role plays. And I have found these role plays on the AQA website, and they are fantastic examples of what you will experience in your exam. So here is the title, the explanation of what you are expected to do. Let's read it together. Read with me. Estás hablando con tu amigo español o tu amiga española sobre tu familia y tus amigos. Briefly, you are talking to your Spanish friend, amigo, obviously male, or amiga, female, about your family and your friends. Why two forms? Amigo, amiga, because your teacher could be male or female. That's why that differentiation. So, and this is what you would see on the common card you receive as you enter your exam. So you would have something like this. So you would have a description of the person in the family, descripción de una persona en tu familia, and it tells you in brackets that you have to give two details. Tu opinión sobre tu familia, and you can see, even with an untrained eye can say your opinion about the family. One detail. Una actividad con tu familia, so one activity with your family. Now, when you see the exclamation mark, that to you is that you don't know what the teacher is going to ask you. And finally, when you see a question mark, mejor amigo, amiga, that means you have to ask your teacher a question about, in this case, your best friend. Now, the things in the question in yellow that I put next to the card is something that you won't see. These are the questions that the teacher knows, and the teacher will ask you, but you have to figure out what to say by looking at those bullet points. So this is what you will do. Now, at first you've got the question, the bullet point telling you what you need to say. So when it comes to the exam itself, the teacher will ask you, ¿Cómo es tu familia? And you have to give two details. So you knew that was going to be the description. So you can say something like, let's have a look at them all. You can say something like, Mi madre es alta y simpática. Absolutely. You named one person from your family, and what is that person like? Tall and lovely. Nice. Tu opinión sobre tu familia. So your opinion about the family. Give me one detail. You can say anything. I suggest you say something like, Me gusta mucho. I like it. Una actividad con tu familia. And I say, ¿Qué haces con tu familia? What do you do with your family? And you need to say something to do with the activity with your family. And you say, Voy al cine. Finally, that question when you don't know what is going to happen. And I've prepared one here on the right-hand side. ¿Cómo te llevas con tu familia? How do you get on with your family? And you can simply say, Genial, brilliant. Question that you have to ask me. And this is where you can ask me anything using the questions that we've just revised. And you need to ask something coherent about my best friend. So it could be, ¿Cuántos años tiene tu mejor amigo? How old is your best friend? Or, ¿Tienes mejor amigo? Do you have a best friend? Or, ¿Te gusta tu mejor amigo? Do you like him? Or, ¿Qué haces con tu mejor amigo? What do you do with your best friend? Or, ¿Cuándo es el cumpleaños de tu mejor amigo? Anything to do with my best friend. there is no restrictions, but it has to be a coherent question about what is indicated. So this was just an example of the foundation role play. The higher, the only differentiation is that the questions will be slightly more advanced, and you might have to give more details about each bullet point. But that is it. It's the matter of recognizing the question, the questioning words, and managing these answers quickly enough. Finding out what is that you are being asked for. So that's it from me for today. I just wanted to show you the Quizlet that I've prepared for you. If you click on the link that is going to be attached to the class, you will see questions, GCSE Spanish, and those are for you to follow. There are plenty of questions for you to memorize, to practice, so that you have them literally ingrained in your brain, and you can ask them anytime you want. All right, so please revise, learn Spanish, and this is going to be it from me. Muchísimas gracias. Hasta luego, chicos, y hasta la próxima. See you next time.
Muchas gracias, Alex. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate it. What are you doing the rest of today?
More learning, more teaching. Yes, some family activities.
Yeah.
Today as usual.
Yeah, never stops, is it? Never stops.
Never stops.
The professional, the mother, the woman. There's all the different roles we have to fill. Obviously, I'm doing the male rather than woman. I've not yet made that decision with my wife as to what we do with it. So we'll see. But Alex, thank you so much. And Nish, I will leave it to you to let everyone know how we will be ending our day and what they can do to further their knowledge of Spanish.
All right, cool. So as Alex mentioned, there is a Quizlet task that you will or you can go through. They do have like cue cards on there as well, so you can revise. If you've missed out on any of Alex's sessions or any of the previous sessions that we have done, then you can find them on Facebook and on YouTube, and also on the Stream School website. There is a code, it's me123, but you'll find that in the descriptions.
Thank you. And your plans for the rest of the day, I think, may involve learning Arabic.
Well, let's hope. Let's try.
All right, Nish. Well, thank you so much for all your help today. It's always really appreciated. And I'll see you tomorrow morning for some literature from me as you go about your business.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Have a good day.
See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.